Shania Twain concert wearing a dear friend of mine's t-shirt here, supporting Shania and everybody else, country music to Dolly Parton, to everybody else that's watching this show. God bless y'all and everybody taking the time out. Sitting here looking at Miss Redhead here, Fergie Confidential, The Real Story, by Chris Hutchins and Peter Thompson. Carrying on where I left off, Chapter 4, Warrior Bondivians. What do you do about your wives, Prince Charles, I once asked. Diana had been so sure she was destined to marry Prince Andrew that she kept his photograph beside her bed. When she attended the Institute Alpha Vendiminete near Gstaad in Switzerland in 1978, I'm saving myself for Prince Andrew, she told more than one person who in squad Prince Andrew, she told more than one person who inquired about her romantic interest in a dashing young man with an open-top, stylish smile. Sarah, in complete contrast, became his power pupil at what Tatler called McNally's exquisite Swiss finishing school at La Chalette at Verbier in the shadow of Montegana, if Switzerland were an inferior sort of Scotland. As one of 19th century traveler put it, Verbier in the 1980s was a poor relation to the more glamorous Galway ski resorts of Gstaad or St. Moritz. Diana's one term at finishing school did little more than improve her intermediate bridge. In skiing, Sarah learned much more and more. Same country, different curriculum. It was at the holiday home of Grand Prix millionaire Patty McNally, and what was called Chelsea on skis, that Sarah completed a very necessary phase of her education, an obstacle course in relationships. McNeely had few peers in his knowledge of the subject, and by the time Sarah left, 3 years later, she had graduated with honors. Sarah had contacted Diana in May 1981, soon after her return from her grand tour of America. Charles Bride had moved into the nursery section of Buckingham Palace to be near him after a brief stay with the Queen's mother in Clarence House. Diana was delighted to have someone who understood the royal family to confide in. Buckingham Palace, she admitted, overawed her, not so much because of its size, but more the atmosphere, which testified to what it really was, the Queen's seat of sovereign power. When Charles was away, she felt cut off. When he was home, he often dined alone with the Queen. When she ventured out, her companion was her police guard, Paul officer, whose constant presence annoyed her. Officers had accompanied Prince Charles on many of his foreign trips, and yet Diana had been less resentful, more receptive. He might have told her the whole wild tale. During an Australian tour, Charles was being driven along a potholed outback road way beyond even the most modest outpost of civilization. Interesting, isn't it? During the Austrian tour, Charles was being driven on a potholed outback road, way beyond even the most modest outpost of civilization. Through the skimmering haze, he spotted a group of road menders, toiling the century-plus heat up on a long, unwinding road. Stop here, Charles ordered. The driver, I must speak to those men, astonished the chauffeur pulled to a halt. And Charles delighted the road menders in Jackie Housing with cotton shorts and dusty boots, leaned on their picks and shovels as the higher to the throne approached. It must be very lonely out here. Charles said to them, what about your waves? What do you do with your wives? Waves? The men looked at each other, puzzled by his pronunciation. Then one of them recognized Charles whispered to the others, "It's the Princess of Wales, you mugs." He wanted us to wave to him. So as he flustered, Charles climbed back into his car. The road gang waved their sweaty straw hats and knotted handkerchiefs. as she sped off into the distance. Even at this early age, Diana felt the similar isolation from her husband to be. She was needy. She craved affection from him. Charles had leaned little from his failed experiments with other women. He could not comfort Diana because he simply did not know how. A vile page-headed how to relate to other people had been misread in the instruction manual with Powell's courtiers, and later his beloved Uncle Dickie, the manipulative Lord Louis Mountbatten, referred to raising the young Charles 3 years before Andrew was born. Charles was enrolled at Hill House International School in Helms Place, Knightsbridge. The infant school had a distinctive uniform, knee breeches, and matching jackets, but on his very day, Charles, timid and quiet, was the only child to arrive in gray overcoat with a black velvet collar. My father was the chauffeur who drove him to school in the morning and picked him up in the afternoon, said one who raised the Royal Mews section of Buckingham Palace. And courier and a lady waiting in the detective was always in the car. One day, Charles was 8 years old and made little friend and asked if the boy could be given home. He left home. He lived not far away in living quarters at Westminster Abbey. The court said no one else was allowed in the car under any circumstances. Those were the rules. Charles had to drive off, leaving his friends behind on the pavement. My father kept a diary and he recorded the incident because it showed how Charles was being brought up. He felt that the pilots were putting the royal children through two worlds. In one sense, they were letting Charles go out the real world, but he didn't have an equal chance. If anything went slightly wrong, he was grabbing back in the old world. Charles didn't understand what was happening, and my father feared it would lead to difficulties in his life because he was neither one thing nor the other. Anne was the first girl Charles had continued with. When she was bullying him terribly, she used to pick sticks. She used to put sticks between his legs to him, continued the former Muse residence. My father went up to Marlborough Drive. The royal family said that Anne used to lay traps for Charles. In the ground, she was very much tomboy. A very little goer, very energetic, fearless, and Charles was very much the passive one. Under the heritage tutelage of the Germanic Lord Mountbatten, Charles learned to bite before he was bitten. His nickname for Diana was Slumpkin, an affectionate, albeit unkind reference to her plump cheeks and puppy fat. It hurt Diana more than she let on. She yearned for some quick-witted girl talk to relieve the stress. The sudden dramatic change in her life would put her nerves even on more as the wedding day approached. Sarah was happy to oppose. The two young women got on so well that Diana asked Sarah if she would be willing to act as one of her ladies in waiting, once she was carrying out her duties as Princess of Wales. Sarah eagerly agreed. Major Ron, although Charles' polo manager, was surprised. You've only known her for a year, he said to his daughter. But Diana was serious. She shortlisted Sarah in the recommendation she put forward to the Queen. You've only won the Earl's daughter, but Diana was serious. Her voice was vetoed on the ground that Sarah, at 21, was too young and therefore presumed to be unsuitable for royal life. Even in the Windsors had a standoffish attitude towards Sarah. She was let down gently. Though greeted Charles with her usual cheerful smile, she went to Smith's Lawn to watch between England the second play. Playing the last polo matches about a 5-2 contest between England and the second Spain. Later, she and her father guessed the wedding on 29 July 1981 St. Paul Cathedral. When Diana moved into Kensington Palace, one of the first people to whom she gave her private telephone number was Sarah. Diana was clearly determined to keep in touch. Sarah's own domestic arrangements were more suited to her lowly station. She had moved in with Caroline Beckford Smith at 40 Lavender Gardens, Clapham, just across the river from Chelsea, but south of the border that divides Snowdon from its less fashionable neighbors. Caroline was well connected. Her cousin Anne, a solidly reliable woman, had become one of Diana's ladies in waiting, and Sarah stayed. The two She stickered and died without resorting to any of the unkind digs of clothes that would most flatter her vulture's figure. Fashion still was not Sarah's strong point, and because of her fair skin, she preferred on the parties in the Edward house with Caroline had brought, provided a perfect sanctuary whenever their social lives came to heck. One of her favorite restaurants was the Pasta Express, a friendly trattoria popular with yuppies and Battersea Road. At birthday parties, the waiters dash around banging on saucepans. Two-tap recording of Happy Birthday to You. Sit one of them one night the wooden dining chair Sarah was sitting on both during some righteous celebration or other. The minute she became famous, the restaurant's owner, Miss Bastille, took it up to this flat and now remains their cherished possession. Money, however, was always in a short supply. Sarah went job hunting, and her quest for work led her to the Times, whose now proprietor was Rupert Marlowe. Though it's come, she found William Drummond, an art dealer based in Covent Garden, who had to advertise for secretarial assistant. Sarah offers her office skills more or less at that provide the organizational backup that Drummond needed for his lone forays in the savagely competitive world of buying and selling paintings. Drummond was cool. One criticism of her that she spent a lot of time on the telephone. It eventually came out that she was a friend of the Princess of Wales, and I suddenly realized that many of the phone calls she had were from her. He said Diana was expecting Princeton and was weak from mourning, sick, and close proximity to courtiers. Had worn her down and robbed her self-confidence. According to a highly placed royal source, Sarah would drive over to Kensington Palace in her blue Volkswagen to cheer her up. When Diana was well enough, they stopped in Harvey's Nick's took in coffee in the cafeteria as before. Sometimes Diana visited the house in Lavender Garden. During that time, to help Diana, Sarah agreed to let Prince Charles escort her to her dinner at the Savoy Sea performance at evening intercourse in which Barry Humphries played at the Montpons Megistone. Dana Edna Everidge, the drunken cultural attaché, Sir Les Parsons. Sarah wasn't allowed to sit next to Charles, said Christina. No, she had to sit next to his side. In the front row, God, Barry splits all the place. We were showered the whole time, Sarah told me that. Sarah left Drummond and started taking part-time jobs because she wanted to spend as much time as possible skiing in River and one of Smith Communications, and entered the new world of video cassette promotions. I formed a company called RSVP, Red Star Video Promotions, and Sarah came and joined us in Christian. As far as Wilga Warrenina, Jane kept in touch with Sarah's exciting new life by letter and phone. She now had a toddler of her own for December 9th, for a company some called Simmons, who was born at Goodemundi Hospital in December 1980. She understood the role Sarah was fulfilling. As Diana has told me, we had the opportunity in which we were growing up to see how members of the royal family lived, she said. The loyalty to her family, the cornerstone of Sarah's life, was severely tested when the Falklands War broke out in April 1982. And she learned that her mother, Hector Barnes, had enlisted in the Argentine forces. It was so much that the Princess Andrea family friend was taken from the combat that made it so difficult for her that the bit was scandal surrounding her mother. Desertion came back with renewed bit in which it was impossible for Sarah's defend her without even go to a state military junta. Even the fact that Hector never been born did not help. Major Ron still had friendlies in the forces and knew It came in the old man came to the surface. Sarah's own needs took about precedence. She started spending less time working in London and more time her skiing in Bermuda as she had first. Visit on family holidays, the little resort perched 5,000 feet above sea level on rocky plateau above Shaba in the Valle de Banes and developed a modern skiing century. I went skiing, she said, whether I got the ferry in the train to get there, I still did it. Skiing in my dream because I love the mountains. Give me the mountains, and I'm happy. Her affair with Kim Smith Bingham was still alive, but if she hoped for a permanent relationship with the only etched in the story, and she was hoped to her to be disappointed. She traveled in Smith Bingham's apartment during these trips, but their love of skiing had to compensate for the intimacy. Near Olympic class skier, he pushed her to the limit. Kim would slide over a precipice and disappear into space, leaving Sarah at the top, down over a precipice, that she couldn't wait to do. It called very irregular. When they got the call, he would tell her to move on or she wouldn't lunch. I met her on the slopes when she was going out with Kim. He was a friend of mine, said Natural Pulsar, and I dearly member of the Verby said she was a brilliant skier who could go down into a mountain. She was a brilliant skier who could go down to a mountain with a virgin. Now on it, glittering. I met her on the slopes when she was going out with Kim, who was a friend of mine. Said Natural Pulsar's dream. Smith, Sarah was the kindest hearted person if I ever met. Anyone was ill, she was the one who looked after them. As her father and predicted, her relationship was gradually dissolving. Uh, After I predicted, her relationship was gradually dissolving into nothing. The domino came when Sarah Kent arrived to find that Smith Benjamin had been spending time with a new partner on too. After her father predicted, her relationship was gradually dissolving into nothing. The denouement came when Sarah arrived to find that Smith Bingham had been spending time with a new part. Sarah Kent, who introduced her to Patty McMillan, the undisputed king of Mountainhead. After getting to know him better, Sarah moved into Let's Gas London's the gay gnomes to Charlotte McMillan, owned jointly with property developer David Ellis. Fergie pushed her onto the patio and said, "Diane, tennis friend." He skied in Burberry after several seasons. He wasn't interested in her. First, other than her guiding laughter and the fact that she got people organized, she was licking her wounds. After several short lives, relationships with things I don't know. Gonna stop there on behalf of all you out there, Care Bear cares. Keeping you all in prayers and keep your chin up. Watch your health. Much love. Stay tuned. If you get bored and you're waiting still on me, see that search bar above this video? That one, search bar. Type in anything, talk, content, it'll find it for you. Much love. Stay positive.